Hello Mixtresses and Mixters. This is Mixtress You're watching Mixtress video. Now I have to use this little recorder and hold it up, but I wanted to show you kind of, because it's really windy, so hopefully I can use this audio, but I might have to do a voiceover if I can't. But I just wanted to let you guys know kind of an update on, I have now been wearing corsets for a week. This is a week later. This one is not the one that was in the first video of me trying on the corsets. This is the Mystic City corset that you saw in the second video that I tried on, the second unbagging, when I just unwrapped the one corset. So this is the MixtressRae in mesh. Here's the front, side, back, and other side. I am extremely happy with this corset. This one is, I was not very happy with the Orchard corsets. I got to a point with them where I couldn't tighten them anymore because it wasn't curvy enough. Like, it was stopping at the ribs and the hips, so I couldn't do any more reduction. This one, as you can see, is pretty close to being closed. Next time I take it off, I am going to take the modesty panel out of it because it's a floating modesty panel, and I'm going to take it out because I think I'll be able to close it with the modesty panel out. And there's still a little bit of gaping in the bottom, kind of the back, and in the top a little bit, so I think I'll be able to close this one all the way. And I'm really excited because it's extremely comfortable. So I just wanted to give you kind of an update on how I felt about corsets now that I've been wearing them for a week. At first I was seasoning them. I would wear each corset for about 2 hours a day. And then I came across some articles yesterday that talk about how seasoning is kind of unnecessary. So I decided that I would stop trying to season the two Orchard corsets because if they don't fit pretty well from the beginning, they're never going to. They look okay, so I'm gonna keep them. Plus I've already taken off the modesty panel on one of them and cut the tags out of the other one, so I couldn't return them even if I wanted to at this point since I've altered them. But I'm gonna keep them because I like the look of them generally. They're not going to be corsets that I probably wear on a regular basis under my clothes like I'm going to do with this one. This one is going to be a little hard to stealth on because it still kind of flares out in the hips. But I'm going to give it a try. Since this one's the most comfortable, this is definitely the one that I would like to wear on a regular basis. So this one, just because I enjoy wearing corsets, I will probably still wear it for several hours a day. I also just wanted to give a general update on how I feel about wearing corsets in general. I hope you guys can see this okay. I am very happy wearing corsets. I feel very secure and calm, and with this one, very comfortable. I feel very comfortable. My waist is probably reduced, I would say about 3 inches right now. I found out after several days, I was a little uncomfortable after a few days and I felt like I couldn't get any reduction. I wasn't able to get it any smaller than my natural waist. And then I realized that the smallest part of your waist is not necessarily what's considered your skeletal waist. So I was actually cinching in at the wrong point of my waist. For most people, the smallest part of your waist is your skeletal waist, and for most people it's like a couple inches above your belly button. But for me personally, I didn't realize this until someone on the Tight Lacing Society, which is a really awesome Facebook group. If you get into corseting, see if you can join that group, because they are really sweet and really informative and non-judgmental, and I've just really enjoyed being a part of that group. But someone on there said, I was telling them about how I was having problems, like I was having pain, and I felt like I couldn't cinch in, and it felt like my waist was, my ribs were interfering with my waist. And she said that in order to measure where your skeletal waist is, you have to kind of feel where your iliac crest is, which is your hip bone, the top of your hip bone. You have to kind of feel where that is. And then you have to feel around where your very bottom floating ribs are. And in the middle of those two measurements is where your waist actually, your skeletal waist actually is. And that's the part that's the squishiest because there's no bone there. So that's the part where you can cinch in the most effectively and the most comfortably. So once I realized that, I just had to like make sure I was putting the corsets on a little bit lower than I was before, and now I can cinch down smaller, and now my corsets are more comfortable. Even the Orchard corsets are more comfortable doing that method. And ever since then, I've been even happier with the results of wearing corsets. Let's see, what would I like to say about it? I really feel like for me, wearing corsets is going to end up being possibly a daily thing. Like at first when I read that article about how you probably don't really need to season your corset, I was a little disappointed at first because it felt like I didn't need to be wearing my corsets for several hours a day, and I was having so much fun doing it, and I was like, wait, what am I talking about? I can wear my corsets as much as I want. I mean, that's like it was like, since I didn't have to, it was for a second I was like, but I want to. Well, duh. I mean, I can wear my corsets for as long as I want, anytime I want. But just overall, I just wanted to give a little bit of an update that this Mystic City corset, I am so in love with, you guys. I am so in love with it. It is made really well. There's one issue that I think I mentioned when I first unboxed it. The mesh on the little panels here, little bits of the mesh are sticking through the binding at the top and the bottom in different places. I've got some like really tiny wire cutters. I'm going to one day actually like go through and kind of cut off those ends that are sticking out, but I don't think it's a structural issue. It's probably just fraying a little bit inside where the binding is. So I'm not that worried about it. It actually doesn't really bother me. Just every once in a while I notice it if my arm like hits it or something. It hasn't snagged on anything or anything like that. And it's made really well, and I was able to get it. I think it normally sells for $90. Most of her corsets sell for $90, but she was having a sale right before she moved. So this one was actually $75, and it came with the modesty panel, as you guys probably saw in the last video. It's and it's a floating modesty panel with boning in the panel itself. So I really like that, but I'm not going to need it. I'm going to be able to close it all the way. So I'm going to take it out and use it probably for the Orchard corset, the black satin one, because that one, it's so ill-fitting that it has like a 4 or 5 inch gap in the back, which is a no-no. Like, you really don't want more than 4 inches or so as a gap in the back. So I probably will use the modesty panel in that one because it'll give it a little bit more structure since I can't close it all the way. But yeah, overall I'm really, really happy being a corset wearer. And I've learned so much about my body during this process, and I've accepted myself so much more during this process. I already have a wish list of so many different corsets I would love to have. I think I'm going to try to limit myself to 9 corsets total, and and I'm not allowed to buy anything for myself until Christmas, so I have to wait before I get any more. But I'm very happy to report that this Mystic City corset is really great, and it was worth the wait. Took over 2 weeks to be shipped to me. I've heard that the customer service with her is kind of bad, but there's enough information on her website about the corsets that you should be able to, once you get your measurements, you should be able to find which one is going to work for you, and not have any issues as far as like once the corset gets to you. You shouldn't have to send it back really, because they're well made, and you can find one that's going to work for you. So anyway, I am very, very, very happy with this corset, and I'm probably just going to wear it all the time. And yeah, so that was just a little bit of an update. I hope this worked out, even though it's so windy. I'm pretty happy. I don't know if I already mentioned, I'm probably reduced. The outside measurement of my waist was about 2 inches smaller than my natural waist is, and so probably the internal measurement, I'm actually cinched down about 3 inches right now. I think I did say that, yeah, sorry. I'm just sort of giddy with this whole process. Normally whenever I become like really obsessed with something and do a bunch of research on it, once I actually start doing the thing that I'm obsessed with, I don't like it as much as I thought I would, and I give it up pretty quickly. But that's not happening with corsets. Like, I love it more every day. Every time I put one on, I'm more comfortable, and I love it even more. And yeah, and I think I mentioned to you guys before when I did the video of trying on the Orchard corsets, I was afraid that I wasn't going to do very well with lacing up corsets myself, because I'm not that coordinated, and I'm not very good at manipulating objects in the physical universe. But I got the hang of it pretty quickly, and I enjoy doing it. And I haven't laced a corset closed yet, but this one I think I'll be able to as soon as I take the modesty panel out. So anyway, I highly recommend it if you are thinking about getting into corsets. Don't get an Orchard corset though. If you want something that's gonna be relatively affordable, get one from Timeless Trends. They have some that are $50, and they have lifetime guarantees on them. I actually don't know if their $50 Hourglass light corsets have the lifetime guarantee, but most of their corsets are about $80 or $90, and they do have a lifetime guarantee. And you can consult with them to find the right size that works for you and the right style that works for you, and you just can't go wrong with them. Even though I haven't tried one of theirs yet, the more I find out about them, the more I really like them. I will be receiving their Gemini corset. They're making one special for me. It's not a custom size, but it's just in a custom fabric. Like, they're making it in a different fabric than the ones that they normally offer. So I will be able to do a review of the Gemini corset from Timeless Trends for you pretty soon. Probably by the time I upload this video, I might have the corset at that point, and I'll probably be putting it up probably either next week or the one after when you see this. So thanks for watching today, guys. Yeah, I will see you guys next time.